Ladies, we are here tonight on the CE show to talk about these football games we saw tonight on Saturday night. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go, ladies and gentlemen. What a night we had tonight. All right, let's talk about the first game, Ohio State, Michigan. Oh my lord. Well, this game it was more of the history between these two teams. Obviously, you got a ranked team versus a team who has really fallen apart this year, who went into the year with high expectations, but they fell flat on their face. And man, I do not know what the future for this team will be in the future because they really fell flat on their face this year. Michigan, man, they had a chance to do something special this year, and they just didn't. Lose once again to Ohio State. Have not won. I don't know how it was last time Michigan won versus Ohio State. They have lost to them all 3 years. Jim Harbaugh has been there in the past with that other coach. They lost to them too. I believe they're like in a 7-game losing streak versus Ohio State. And this year was a very bad year for Michigan. I don't think they're gonna fire Jim Harbaugh because what else do you want? What else can you get? Like, if Jim Harbaugh's not gonna, take you to the promised land, who the hell's gonna take you to the promised land? So at least for this year, I think Jim Harbaugh's job is saved. But man, people are starting to get mad at Jim Harbaugh. We'll see what happens. But a lot of people think he needs, he still needs to like get more time and like get his own players. Obviously that the quarterback, you probably need to. He's known for working with, whatever quarterback you work with in his system. He seems to, get the most out of him. But this year, the quarterback play was very bad. So maybe he can bring in a freshman or something. And, I don't know. Because, yeah, this was probably one of his worst quarterbacks he had in his life, whether in college or in the NFL. But he's been known in the past for having a good, for getting the most out of the quarterback, even if he sucked ass. But this year, man, he's probably the worst with his quarterback. He needs to find a quarterback. That's the first thing he needs to do for next year. Find a quarterback because otherwise, he may be fired too. Because this man. Like I said, he really took some steps back this year with Michigan. Let's talk about a little bit of Ohio State. Coach Meyer continues to win there. I don't know. I believe they finished. I believe they finished 10-2, and number 19 in the nation. They still may have a chance to enter to get in the playoffs. We'll see what happens. But good win for them, and I think a lot of people had Ohio State winning this game, but because of the whole history between these two teams, everybody was giving Michigan a chance. But I think obviously the favorite going into the game was Ohio State, and so you can't be too surprised that they won. But obviously everybody wanted to watch the game because of the history between these two teams. Next thing I want to talk about was Auburn versus Alabama. So yesterday, somebody asked me, and I answered, who will win this game between Auburn and Alabama? And I said Alabama should win this game, that Auburn has a chance. Same thing, a lot of history between these two. Like I said, a few years ago, 3 years ago, 2013, I believe, Auburn beat them when Alabama kicked the field goal. They missed it. And Auburn had a player. He returned it all the way for a touchdown and won the game. A few years later, I believe, when Cam Newton was the quarterback, they also beat Alabama. So in the last, 7 years, they beat them at least twice. So that there was a possibility of Auburn beating Alabama. So you cannot be too surprised that this happened. In Alabama, they were undefeated, so it's very hard to go undefeated. So at the same time, man, they were getting close there to finish an undefeated season. But man, hey, they finally took their first L of the season, and I'm not too surprised because I don't care how good you are, you're most likely always going to take an L. You're always, most of the teams, you're always going to take an L. And if you're Alabama, it's better to take the L right now than it would have been in the playoffs or in the national championship. So look at it that way. It's better to take the L right now than it would have been in the playoffs or in the national championship. That's what happened to my Notre Dame a few years ago. I believe it was 2013. They went undefeated, and then they took their first L in the national championship. So maybe you get the L out of the way right now if you're Alabama. I think they will still be in the playoffs. Come on now, come on. The first L, almost go undefeated in November. Come on. So they will still go in the playoffs. I wouldn't be too worried. I wouldn't be too worried if I was Alabama. I think they will for sure still be going to the playoffs. And now Auburn, you look at this team, and this is another team that should be going to the playoffs now because you beat the nut. Oh, excuse me. Mother chicken on a waffle string. I just fucking farted real bad. I might have to check my pants. Anyways, man, I was being so good tonight, and then I just fucking farted. I apologize. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, mother chicken on a waffle. Oh shit. Anyways, oh my lord, ladies and gentlemen, I apologize, but I just farted like a. Oh, anyways, mother chicken like a waffle head. Yes. What was I saying? Yeah. So Alabama should get into the playoffs, and Auburn, same thing. I think they should because if you think about it, they beat Georgia, who at the time was #1 a few weeks ago, and now you beat Alabama. You have beaten two teams who at one point were ranked #1 in the nation. There is no way in hell that this team there's no way in hell that this Auburn team should not be in the playoffs. Now, if next week they lose to Georgia, I mean, I believe they lost to Clemson, like all the way back in like week 2. But if there were one team, I think for sure, obviously, if they went out, they win next week, they're going to the playoffs. But man, if next week they lose to Georgia, if next week Auburn loses to Georgia, if there's one team with a 2-loss, they should be in the playoffs. It should be Auburn. Because think about it. You lost to Clemson, a top 5 team. And then you lose to Georgia, a team who you already beat a few weeks ago. I'm sorry, but if there was a 2-loss team that belongs in the playoffs, it would be Auburn, even if they lose next week to Georgia. So I think this is another team that should be in the playoffs. I think for sure Alabama and Auburn and Alabama should be in the playoffs. I honestly do. Now we'll see what happens because Ohio State may have something to say about that when it comes to 2-loss teams. But I think Auburn for sure, if they win next week, they're going to playoffs. And then even if they lose, I think you have to still think about it because look at everybody they beat. If they lose to Georgia next week, they have already beaten Georgia earlier. So that's a team right there that, man, even if with 2 losses, may still belong in the playoffs. Last thing I want to talk about. Notre Dame, my team, is officially out of the playoffs. They had their last chance tonight trying to get it as a 2-loss team. But tonight, they took the L versus Stanford. And the game was, back and forth. But then at the end there, my team fell apart. And what was the final score? I believe 37-20. Obviously, my team is done. We're not going to the playoffs. And I don't know what to say. I really don't. It seems like we just cannot win on the road versus good teams. Simple as that. We just cannot go on the road and beat good teams. We lose to Miami 2 weeks ago, a very good football team. And tonight we lose to another very good football. Even though they're not amazing, it's a very good football team in Stanford. And I just have a feeling that if these games were played at Notre Dame, the results would be, the finish would be different. It's just a road thing. I don't know. It's just that every time we go on the road, versus a good team, we fall flat on our faces. Whatever. And this is what I was gonna say, that my team was most likely gonna lose at least one more time after that loss to Miami because mentally, You know, they were done. Anyways, that's all I have to say. Next week, we have our final week of college football. It's over, man. One more week. But what a week this was, ladies and gentlemen. There's been a few coaches fired. I believe Tennessee fired their coach. Florida fired their coach. UCLA fired their coach. Texas A&M fired their coach. There's probably going to be some other coaches fired. But we'll see what happens. We still got one more week, but a lot of teams are done. You know, next week is just conference championship games. Oh man. Ladies and gentlemen, next week, you know, I believe we got like I said, Georgia versus Auburn, and then I believe we got Clemson versus Miami. That's another good football game right there. Those are probably going to be the top two games next week. Georgia Auburn, and Clemson Miami. Ladies and gentlemen, I am farting really bad. I don't know if I don't think you guys can hear it. But yeah, I am on tiptoes, like a penguin on some happy feet type. Anyways, like on some happy, you know, the movie Happy Feet, the penguins. So I think I'm about to have to go to the restroom. Anyways, yeah, so we'll see what happens next week. What else can I say tomorrow? Tomorrow, once again, I will be here as always. And we'll see what happens. But to me, Auburn sure deserves to be in the playoffs, even if they lose next week. Because think about it, they have already beat Georgia. So, but anyways, that's another. We'll talk about that in the future. One last thing, putting your questions in. I think so far we have 2 questions. So make sure you put in your questions in. I believe we got a new fan today. He's a Saints fan, so I don't know if Marty sent them. I forgot what his name was. But welcome to the CE show. If you're watching this video, son, you said something about talking about the Saints. Is that a question, or is that maybe what you want me to talk about for like in a Tuesday topic? Because like I said, Tuesdays you guys can, if you guys were like, you know, that's the day that I don't have a topic. So is that what you meant? You're welcome to the show. I think you're the first time I ever seen you in the comment section. But you started talking about one of the Saints. I don't know if you just were telling me that, if that was a question, or if you wanted me to, like, is that an idea for the Tuesday topic show? Let me know. I believe your name is Seth. I'm not sure though. Marty, maybe you know him. I don't know, because Marty's like the fucking leader of the Saints Nation. Anyways, that's all I have to say. Put in your questions. Obviously, it's early. We have about a week. But so far, we have 2 questions in. For last time I saw, we have 2 questions in. And, you know, obviously, we need a few more. We have to at least get 5. Well, we don't have to, but I would like to get at least 5 a week. Right now, we have 2 questions for this Friday. So make sure you get your questions in. If you have any ideas or whatever, getting your questions in. You have about a week. It's early. You know, obviously, I'm not going to panic about it right now. We already have 2 questions. And we have about a week to make it to 5. So come on. But anyways, that's all I have to say for tonight. I am the man that runs the place. I apologize for farting. I don't know what the hell's happening to me lately. I used to be I thought tonight I started the show off very nicely, and I apologize for that. Anyways, what else can I say? But thank you. The CE show continues to, you know, so yes, later. Man, almost had a professional show there until I fucking almost shit on my pants. 14 minutes? These videos continue to be super, super long. Feel like I need to look myself in the mirror, and cannot wait until I get my camera so I can literally have it in front of my face and look at the time. The videos will be shorter once I get my camera, and trust me, right now it is too far to see the time. I know some of you don't like, I know some of you don't care. You guys are willing to watch the long videos, but I do think it's better when you have like a 10 to 12 minute video. I just feel like it gets more views once people see the video, the show. if it's more than 12, 10 minutes, I think once a win, it's kind of like a turn off. So I am trying to. I just think it's better to make it shorter.